It's easy to make this popular daisy lamp at home for a fraction of the cost. You'll need a table lamp with a spherical base, a hot glue gun, and either daisy barrettes or cloth craft daisies. Starting at the top of the sphere, attach the daisies in a single row using the hot glue gun. Place the second row of daisies in a staggered pattern and repeat until you've reached the bottom. Your daisy lamp is ready to use.
So I picked up this dated lamp at my local thrift store. It was only $15. I love the shape of it, and I knew that it could just be something better. I want to try and dupe a lamp that I saw on Anthropologie's website. So to begin, I just went over the whole lamp with a coat of spray paint. This is a dual primer spray paint in one. And then once it was dry, I gave it sufficient time to fully dry before touching the lamp. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add my own applique on top of this lamp. So I'm going to be using a printable clear sticker paper. This is from the brand Cricut. You don't actually need a cutting machine to use it. I just found an image on Google and then I printed it right onto the clear sticker paper. And then I went ahead and cut it around as close as I could to the design. I want to make sure that you don't see any of the sticker paper at the top. For the straight edges at the bottom, I used a paper trimmer to make sure that they were nice and straight. And then again, I just went in and fine-tuned and cut as close as I could to the image without actually cutting the image itself. I did print a couple different images to go all the way around the base of the lamp just because one paper isn't large enough. So once it was all cut out, I stuck down my decal. Super easy to do this. You just place it in and then you just smooth out any air bubbles, and I literally just used my hands. It's super easy to do this. This DIY is pretty much as easy as it gets. Once I was done and completed, this is what my final lamp looks like. I did replace the shade with a more modern one that I just had from another lamp, and I am so happy with how this project turned out. You would never know that this is what this lamp looked like before.
We are going to take a plain white lampshade and we're going to turn it into a super cool Anthropologie style lampshade. Grab some hot glue and put a bead of glue along one side of your lampshade, and then add some twine or jute. And we're going to wrap that around the lampshade until we cover the entire thing. What's great about this project is you can use an old lampshade that you can get like from a thrift store. I happened to get one at Walmart that had a little ding and a little tear in one spot. So it was marked all the way down to like $4. Which was a great deal. So one of the things I learned when I was doing this, you're going to keep wrapping it around and you're going to intermittently add glue. You don't have to do it after each strand. It's just if you notice that it's maybe coming up a little more than you'd like, you can also just keep wrapping it and then add glue afterwards. Just kind of lift it up a little and put a little bead of glue in there. And I just kept doing this until I filled the entire lampshade. After we completely filled the lampshade with the twine or jute, we are going to make tassels to hang from this. So grab a piece of cardboard, and you want it about 3.5 inches in height, and just wrap some yarn around it. I'd say about 25 times, or the thickness of a tassel that you would want. Then grab about 3 or 4 inches of your yarn and slide that through all the way to the top and make a double knot. Next, you're going to grab your scissors and you are going to cut the bottom loops, and then you can take that right off of your cardboard and then trim any excess that you have that may be lingering there. Then grab about a 3-inch piece of your yarn and put that towards the top I'd say about 3/4 of an inch down, and make a double knot there, and that's going to make the top of your tassel. Then you're going to want to trim those little excess pieces where you made your knot. So this is the yarn version, but my favorite is to use rope, which is a soft cotton rope, and to make tassels this way. So you're going to measure the cotton rope about 10 inches, and you're just going to cut a bunch of these. Each one of these pieces is going to make 3 tassels, so I used a total of about 70 tassels, and it was for a 12-inch diameter lampshade. If you are using the cotton rope, you're going to uncoil them and it'll make 3 tassel parts, which makes it super easy when you're making tassels. You're going to follow the same process you did on the yarn tassel, where you're going to do a double knot at the top take about 3 or 4 inches of yarn and put that about 3/4 of an inch down. And you see how I wrap that around a bunch of times? That's so it makes it a little more textural. And then double knot that. And then trim off the little tail ends. And then just keep making these. But first you shake it, and then you'll see how it fluffs up the tassel. Then trim off the edge. And here are the two different types of tassels. One is the cotton rope, and one is just using yarn. And just go to town and make as many tassels as you want. I had a latte, sat here, watched some Netflix, and made all my tassels. After you have all your tassels made, we are going to add these to the bottom of our lampshade. And I decided to hot glue these. You could use a needle and thread and tie them and sew them on the edge, but this worked out perfect. So you're going to line up your tassels, and you're going to hot glue. Just one little bead of glue is enough to hold it. Don't worry about the long tails. We're going to trim those at the end. And you'll notice that I don't put the top of the tassel, where I call like the little head of the tassel, all the way to the edge. It's just there's a little bit of the string hanging so that it has a little bit of movement when these are all added. And then just add all your tassels all the way around your lampshade. I love the way these look. And then using the cotton rope instead of the yarn, I think really makes it look more high-end. And just keep going, adding a little bead of glue, adding your tassels until you fill the entire lampshade. And when you finish lining your tassels, you are going to simply trim off the excess tails and just go around until you get all of those off. And then you can touch up with any hot glue if you feel that any of them are a little loose, but really one little dab will do it. This turned out so cute. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe that this is from a Walmart lampshade. Literally looks like I got it from Anthropologie. So beautiful. And it has texture and a beachy vibe, and it's neutral but kind of high-end looking, and such an easy project. And I hope you guys are inspired to make your own.
You won't believe what drinking straws and a lampshade have in common. Take a drum lampshade and draw a level vertical plumb line with a pencil on the side of the shade. Continue to draw these plumb lines about every 7 to 8 inches around the entire lampshade. Now take some non-bending straws and start to arrange them in a random zigzag pattern. This does not need to be exact. In fact, the more random the pattern, the better. Take a hot glue gun and place a line of glue along one side of a straw. Lay this straw on the lampshade in line with one of the plumb lines, but with part of the straw hanging off the edge of the shade. Continue to glue straws side by side onto the lampshade in your random pattern. You can ensure that your straws are laying evenly on the shade because you can make adjustments as you hit each plumb line that you drew on the shade. I discovered that you can also apply your hot glue directly onto the lampshade and then lay the straws on top. This method is a lot faster than laying them one at a time. In a well-ventilated area, spray paint your new lampshade in the color of your choice. Don't forget to spray the inside of the shade as well. Use a finial in a matching or coordinated color to attach the shade to a lamp base for your bold and beautiful new lamp. I hope this inspired you to give an old lampshade a dramatic but inexpensive makeover with just a little glue and some straws. Thanks for watching Home Talk. See you next time.